Hi friends, thanks for joining me today. How are you? I am doing great and I'm just so glad that you're here. Today is a special day in the church. It's called All Saints Sunday, and it's a really special day and a really important day for us to remember. It's a day that we remember people who have died. Do you know somebody who has died? Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a pet. When somebody dies or an animal dies, it really hurts our heart. Have you felt that hurt before? It's important to remember these people, to remember the love that they showed, how they told us all about God's love, and how they made us feel. And did you know that it's a day that we remember that we are supposed to share God's love with others, because we are also somebody that somebody else is going to remember. Our job is to love others. So we are connected to people in our family, in our homes, in our teams. We love these people. But did you know we're connected to a bigger family? Even bigger than the people we live with. We're connected to God's family. And God's family goes back and back and back even more. I have my Bible. I just like to flip through to remind you all the people in our faith family, in God's family. Well, let's start with Abraham and Sarah. What about Moses and Miriam? Let's see, who else do we have here? How about Ruth? Ruth is an important story in our Bible. Ruth is part of our faith family. Oh, and then we have Samuel. Do you remember the story about Samuel when God talked to Samuel? Samuel is part of our faith family. Then we have David. Do you remember David? David and Goliath, and David, the one that God picked to be a leader. David is definitely part of God's family, part of your family. Then I flip to the New Testament, and then I remember all of the disciples. All of Jesus's friends who loved Jesus, learned from Jesus, then taught like Jesus taught us to live. We have so many people in our faith families. Think about everybody at church or everybody watching these videos. They're all part of God's great big faith family. So today is that special day that we think about others, and think about others who are alive that teach us about God's love. And then we think about other people or animals or loved ones that we missed because they have died. Well, I have a special activity for you to do. What I need you to do is get a piece of paper and then fold it in thirds. See my paper? I have folded it 3 times because I'm going to make a candle. The reason I chose to make a candle is because light and fire, that reminds us about God's great big love. Because when we talk about shining bright or letting my light shine, that means sharing God's love with others. So I'm going to make a candle. But there's 3 different things I want you to do on this candle. The first one is I want you to draw a picture of the person or thing that you miss so much. Today, I drew my grandparents because they no longer are alive. I have Grandma Joe and Papa Jack. There's my Grandma Joe and there's my Papa Jack. They were my grandparents, and they were such great grandparents. And my Papa Jack, he was a preacher, and he used to tell everybody about God's great big love. And my Grandma Joe, she used to tell everybody about God's great big love too, because she loved God so much. And I always knew that she loved me so much. I had so much fun being at her house with her when I went to visit. Then on the next side, we need to draw heaven. Now, you know what? I don't know what heaven looks like, so I drew feelings. I drew a big heart because I know that heaven is love. Above all else, heaven is love. And I know that heaven is happiness, so I drew happy faces. What do you think heaven looks like? You can draw a picture of feelings, or you can draw a picture of what you think heaven actually looks like. And then I wrote a note to my grandparents. Would you like to hear it? I said, Grandma Joe and Papa Jack, I loved going to your house to visit. I had fun camping with you. Thank you for being my grandparents. Love, Noelle. So all of these things help me remember the people that I miss because they were important in my life. And it's so good for our hearts to talk about these people, to remind us that they loved us so much and that we love them so much. Then after that, you can tape your candle together. It's just a triangle. And then if you have some tissue paper or some cellophane or some red paper, you can make a flame, or yellow paper or orange paper. I had this and I thought it looked like a flame. So I'm going to stick this in my candle to kind of make it look like a flame. And then I'm going to set this out. I'm going to set this out for a while. So every time I look at it, I can remember. And then if other people see it, they can ask me questions. Hey, who is Papa Jack? Do you know that my kids never got to meet my Grandma Jo? Oh my goodness, that makes me so sad because she was such a huge part of my life and I loved her so much. So this will help me remember to share stories with my kids about the love Grandma Jo gave me. So then they have an idea of who she was because she was so special. So think about somebody that you need to honor, that you need to remember, and draw a picture of them. Write them a note, and if you can't write, maybe ask somebody to help you write words down. And then draw a picture of what you think heaven looks like, or what you think heaven feels like if it's too complicated to draw the picture of heaven. All right, my friends, share those stories. Ask your family about stories from people that they have lost, and then pray together about how we can learn about God's love and how we can teach others. My friends, have a great day, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.